Hello and welcome to a video on how to run Big Rad Town. So here I am, this is Big Rad Town. Let me show you again on the map. Big Rad Town is this place right here. A lot of people are used to being kind of where all the other spawns are. That small Rad Town, you know, 2 tanks, hangars, small factory. A lot of people end up hanging out in this area because there's so many different places to go, and there is a decent amount of loot in all of these places. However, the best loot is actually in Big Rad Town. It's got the highest concentration of there's a lot of loot chests as well as zombies here at Big Rad Town, and so it is actually the best place to get loot. And so you might ask, well, then why? There's going to be tons of people there. There's actually not any more people here at Big Rad Town just because it's actually farther away from everything else. However, the people that are at Big Rad Town are the people who know what they're doing, and there's so much loot here that they tend to always have guns. So the competition's a little bit more steep. There's not more people, but the people are a little bit better. So if you really want to go and see Big Rad Town, how do you do it? And so I'm going to show you how to run Big Rad Town. What I mean by that is how do you hit all of the loot spawns. And so I'm going to first show you how to do a full run by taking advantage of radiation pills. And then afterwards I'll show you what to do if you don't necessarily have radiation pills or a rad suit. There's a lot of radiation in Big Rad Town or Big Rad Factory. However, if you have a full rad suit, you can be in there indefinitely. And so I actually recommend going ahead and collecting a full rad suit. And just the thing is, there's so many spawns here of loot, and that by the time you hit all of them, you can actually just run back and start over again. So you can actually get almost an infinite set of loot. I personally recommend going in this side entrance when you do a suicide run. But if you have a rad suit or if you have a lot of rad pills, I usually start here at the bottom entrance. And so you'll notice here, and I'm gonna do the bottom entrance because it's gonna help you get the map and the layout of this town the best. Anyway, so these are called double stacks. There's 4 of these buildings, and each one there's loot on the bottom and loot on top. That's why it's a double stack. And so we'll hit up here. There's gonna be 2 loot spots on the bottom, 2 loot spots on the top. So here only half have already respawned. And then so this is the front, kind of like probably the first front room, and then we're gonna go to the behind it. So we're gonna kind of hit what is kind of like the first back building, if that makes sense. You hit the front, then you hit the back. Hit the ammo. Go up to the top, just like all of the others. All of these are exactly the same. And so now we've hit the front and the back. We're gonna go back towards the front. You can turn left here, and so this is the highest radiation building, and so I wouldn't go here unless you have rad pills or a rad suit, but this is kind of the second front building. Hit the bottom, he'll hit the top. So now there's a little bit of a maze. You come out the side, you turn left, and this will get you kind of through the maze to the back. So this is the 4th and last building. It's kind of the second back building, if that makes sense. Hit the bottom, we'll hit the top. More rad pills. I kind of like this building because it's harder to get to, so you're actually almost safer there because it's harder for enemies to get into it. There's not too much radiation, and the paths through it require you to go through a lot of radiation, which is very noisy, which makes it hard for people to hear you if they're coming that way. And so we hit these back. We're going to do these S curves. So this is the first S. And then we're going to S back, so it made sense. We did a full S, so don't get confused. We did a full S through here, we came out here, and then we're turning back in to do another S. And we're going to go all the way to the back here. And now we're coming out the front. Helps if you don't miss the bears. So I'm actually just stalling here, and so obviously if I didn't have a whole bunch of rad pills, I wouldn't want to spend time shooting bears. Try and grab the loot that he's hiding. Research kit. And so anyway, so now we finally get to the front field. This is probably one of the more dangerous areas because you can kind of be seen. There's also a lot of zombie spawn. It's probably better if you have a silent shotgun. That's a good way to handle the zombie spawn. Also helps if the bear doesn't bug out the bag. Okay, that's great. Okay, and so there's 4 more out here in the front field. If you're just running the whole town, you can just kill these off and makes this looting a lot faster. But even so, I mean, you are getting loot just by killing these zombies. But this is kind of a dangerous area, so on a populated server, I probably wouldn't not try and actually do a full run unless I had people to back me up. There's just that, or I have lots of equipment. And so they actually changed this, which is interesting. There used to be 4 out here in front, and they've gotten rid of one of them. And so we now are going to head to the back, and this is the last set of spawns. And there's more zombies out here usually, so you have to be careful. And so then there's 2 more spawns back here. And then you can go ahead and loop back around, and the loot will start respawning pretty soon. So here I am, I'm back at the front. I've gone a full circle now once I get turned around here. So here, and this is the front entrance we started with, and this is the first building on the left. And so, and it might take an extra minute or 2, but yeah, you see it's already respawned. So I can now run this loop again. Kill more zombies along the way. Zombie bears. This guy's dodging. Okay, okay. Okay, and then we hit the back. I'm just going to run through this one more time so that you should eventually, it'll just help you to learn a little bit better, hopefully. Now we're going to go to the radiation room, which is the second front room. Now remember, you loop back, return left to go to the last building that is hidden behind. So I mean, obviously you're hoping to get weapons, or at least rad gear. But as you can see, you can do this almost non-stop. So I mean, if you do this for a significant amount of time, it eventually will add up. So I come out here and I turn right first. That's just kind of this hidden area, don't forget it. I now turn back around, and I hit one here. I do these different S curves, and this takes you to the back tank. There's usually one here. We then do some more S's and curves. We hit one more back here. Got a silencer blueprint. And now I turn back around, S, 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 and just keep going. And then we hit these 2 in the back. And now I'm back out in front. You don't necessarily need to hit this spot if you don't have backup, or if you're scared of other people, because obviously everyone can see you here. And you don't necessarily need to make the whole trek here. I have to run a long ways just to get like 1 loot spawn, and so it may not even be worth it in a lot of cases. But if you have a rad suit, then there's no reason not to. I come around back here. We've been here before. This should all start feeling very familiar to you. You hit 2 more back here. Now I go all the way back, circle back around, and you can just do this non-stop. So now you know where all of the spawns are. You should be very comfortable here. I'm going to show you how to do a suicide run. So let's say you come here and you don't have a radiation suit, you don't have any rad pills. What do? I'll show you how to do that in the next video, but it'll just kind of solidify how to hit all the loot spawns. So you get the idea, and this can kind of just keep going. It never ends.